doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Michael Cassio.
Okay. Could you tell us who Othello is?
Oh, Othello, what a great guy. I've had the privilege to serve under him. He appointed me as his right-hand man, which really means a lot. He married one of my really good friends, actually, Desdemona, and I was able to help them out a little bit, get together. But yeah, I don't really know. What is there anything more you need to know about him?
Oh, not a whole lot. It just sounds like you have a very high opinion of him.
Yeah. I mean, he's a great guy.
Okay. Well, I'd like to start off by asking you a little bit about your time in Cyprus. Were you present when Othello first got off the dock after the Turkish fleet had been destroyed?
Yeah. No, I was there. We were all waiting for him. We were really excited, actually, for his arrival there. Really looking forward to him coming there. It was a beautiful day, sun in the sky, ready for a bunch of great people to come off that boat. So, it was a good time in Cyprus, yeah.
Okay. What was the interaction between Othello and Desdemona at that moment?
He was excited to see her. I can't blame him. He had a really good wife, and he was excited.
Okay. How did he treat her?
How did he treat her?
Yes.
They were fine, like any, actually not even any married couple. That he treated her really well. Was always sure to. He was at her beck and call, and you see the light in this man's eyes every time he looked at her. He loved this girl. So he treated her well.
Okay. Was Iago waiting on the dock too?
Yeah, he was there.
Okay. Can you clarify for everyone who Iago is, please?
Iago is he's another soldier. Also in the army. He's a guy. He and I we do obviously like the camaraderie and whatever that exists between us. That's it's the brotherhood. It's all that kind of thing. But he's Iago.
Okay. What was it like in the moments leading up to Othello's arrival?
We were waiting around. I mentioned we were excited. It was a nice day. Iago was, kind of one of his sassy moods he gets in sometime. I don't really...
Okay. Did he talk to you or Desdemona or anybody there?
Well, leading up to... he was kind of just like around with us. Conversation, just kind of more filling in the time. We were all sort of waiting for the boat to get there.
Okay. So you knew Iago previously through being fellow soldiers. What was it like on the battlefield?
I'd kind of rather not talk about that. Iago kind of did some things that I don't really like to think back to.
Well, I understand it's difficult, but it would be very good for us to hear a little bit about that.
Okay. Oh, wow. Iago was... He's always had the mentality of the ends justifying the means, and on the battlefield, it wasn't even like they were people out there. They were just obstacles in his way when he was out there, which really, really different than a lot of the guys I knew for that reason. Just I don't know. It was whether he was bloodthirsty or what his deal was, but it was just almost like they were just objects there, and they were to be done away with.
Wow. I mean, like, what was he like with soldiers that had surrendered? Did he treat them fairly afterwards?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Did he, treat soldiers fairly after they surrendered?
I mean, I think Iago wasn't always the most sensitive as far as, what other people wanted. He just knew they didn't have the same view as him. He was kind of rough with them, would, sort of some name calling, kind of didn't really like that they what they did or didn't do out there on the field. So yeah.
Okay. What was Othello like during battles?
Othello, on the other hand, he was so dignified in his approach to battle. He was certainly someone to be looked up to. I can understand. I see in every way why he was given the position that he was. He was a great man, really just resolute and firm and just wonderful. Yeah. I'm very fortunate to be serving under him.
It's good to hear. Thank you very much. I'd like now to point later on the island. Do you recall a time that you saw Othello and found him experiencing a seizure while the Iago looked on?
Othello has kind of a he has sort of a range of seizures. There was a time on the island when I thought, maybe this is one of them, but it was one of his more calm ones, I guess. Sometimes, knowing having served with Othello, and stress is one of those things that triggers his seizures usually. And we've obviously been in many high stress situations together, and so I've seen him where he'll be in the middle of a conversation and stop saying anything, and he just looking ahead at you, and you're thinking, Earth to Othello, what's going on, man? But then you realize he's having a seizure. But then some of them are a little more violent, where he loses complete control of his body and kind of starts yammering about whatever, completely loses any sort of control. So maybe it's some kind of talking or something, but there's been all kinds. But sorry, back to your question. There was a time on Cyprus, and it was around Iago actually, and I was thinking, why isn't he doing anything about it? But it seemed potentially seizure-like behavior.
We talk about him yammering on, as you phrased it. Do you remember anything about the content of what he'd say, if it made sense, if it was complete sentences?
Honestly, it's like he's in some wacky dream sometimes, sometimes you get in those dreams and it's sort of it's almost like sleep talking. It's a little eerie, it doesn't really make sense. It could be, he could be asking you to go get him a glass of water, but then it could be, more, I've had potentially entire conversations that you think he's cognizant for, and he's not. It's just kind of psychobabble.
Now, I understand that you were around when Roderigo died. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it wasn't fair what was done to him. That's never fair, I guess, when you really get down to it. Sorry, you keep bringing up this death subject, and it just kind of all comes rushing back, but it's sort of foggy at the same time. He died under the hand of someone that he thought he could trust, and that's never right.
Do you have any idea who that could have been?
Yeah,
Could you-
it was Iago.
Iago? Okay. Well, I'd like to end on a positive note. I understand that you were kind of go-between between Othello and Desdemona. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, I'd do anything for an old friend, yeah.
Okay, well, are there any stories that stick out to you? Any, pleasant story?
Yeah, I don't know if Desdemona would really want me telling people this, but she'll be fine. There was a time at one of the dinners that her dad, good old Brabantio, would hold, and if she wanted to make sure that she could be close enough to Othello that she could listen to all of his stories, but she wanted to be far away enough so that she would still be seen as modest, and she didn't want to come on too strong. She's really, Brabantio did a good job raising her. So then dinner goes on. She doesn't really say anything directly to him, playing coy and stuff. But then, after dinner, she wanted me to give him a little note and, just to sort of say she's sort of interested, kind of test the waters, dip her toe into it. And yeah, it was really great seeing this love happen between both of them, because, it was really among their first times that they just, wow, the connection, the chemistry was really there, even if it was unspoken in the beginning.
Okay. Thank you very much. That was absolutely wonderful, and that's all.
Thank you.
Cassio, are you drunk?
It depends. Like, our...
An officer is drunk on the record.
I'm sorry, are you just still sore about that you not having my position? I'm
Cassio.
really no,
Cassio,
Iago. This is something that we've been needing to talk about for a long time, because I feel like it's really hurt our friendship, and it hurts me that I'm hurting you, and
Do you need to beat someone else up? Is that gonna take away your?
no, that's
Are you,
that's not my intention at all. No, wow, okay, I was just trying to
just please.
This is on the record, right?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So are you ready now?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you arrived in Cyprus, you were Othello's lieutenant, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you served as a go-between for Othello and Desdemona as well?
Yeah, that was yeah.
So you would say you were a good friend of his?
Yeah, for whatever reason, he put his trust in me, but I love to think myself as a friend to Othello, sure.
But despite the fact that you were good friends, he still felt the need to fire you while at Cyprus?
Wait, I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Despite the fact that you were good friends, he still felt the need to fire you while you guys were in Cyprus?
But it wasn't him being a bad friend in any way. Just sometimes, with any friendship, sometimes you see your friend do something that they shouldn't do, and you kind of distance yourself from them because you don't want to fall into a similar path. You have to do something about it, sure.
And so he took that action after you became extremely intoxicated one night when you were supposed to be on guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and a little bit after that night, you stabbed someone?
I still feel really bad about that because I had I had reached, a point in my intoxication when I wasn't aware of I wasn't aware of my actions. It was sort of like everything. I mean, I guess blacking out is what it would be, honestly. And so it was just this. I finally sobered up enough to be aware that something had happened, and I saw what was around me, and I couldn't believe that I was the one to blame for this. But I know that it'll take some time for me to be forgiven by the man upstairs. But I am repentant for that action, even though I wasn't conscious or aware of what was happening at the time that it was happening.
So Desdemona never approached you in a way you felt to be inappropriate, did she?
No, that's no, Desdemona? No, she's easily the sweetest girl I've ever met, and way too modest. I mean, I told you the story about her wanting to get close to Othello, but didn't want to say anything about it. I mean, she's a modest and fair, and just, she's too smart to even try and do anything like that. No, not with my reputation, no.
So you were never having an affair with Desdemona, just to clarify.
Yeah, just to clarify. I mean, and Iago mentioned this a little bit ago, that of course every Venetian, probably person, I won't even narrow it to man, definitely was aware that Desdemona was a very beautiful woman. But no, there was no relations there beyond friendship.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
Thank you.